the American people stand firm in the faith which has inspired this nation from the beginning. We believe that all men have a right to equal justice under law and equal opportunity to share in the common good. We believe that all men have the right to freedom of thought and expression. We believe that all men are created equal because they are created in the image of God. From this faith, we will not be moved.
Hello, God bless America, and welcome to the Freedom of Thought podcast. I'm your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Owijan. Freedom of Thought is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps, and I encourage you to use Spotify. That'll help the growth of the show, Spotify, because I'm with Spotify for podcasters. That's basically what Anchor is now. So just kind of getting that out of the way. Kind of going to get caught up on some things. I'm sorry, it's been about a month. I can't believe it. So I've been caught up with, with work, obviously, working on Video Game Flashback, and of course keeping up with the Timberwolves and Minnesota Wild. And I need to be doing this show more often, much more often, because there's always something to say in this world. The whole Trump getting indicted, and it's just nonsense, and all the crap the Democrats are saying. And to me, it's just an attempt to try to prevent him from running for president and becoming the president again. But luckily, it looks like it's backfiring. So that's kind of what there is to say right now. Obviously, I can leave a lot of that to the Alex Joneses of the world, maybe the Bob Biermans, Truth to Ponder and all that. Of course, obviously Bob Bierman, and all the other political pundits out there, the Glenn Becks and all that. Glenn Beck has certainly been turning in the right direction lately, so that's good. For a while there, he looked like he was, very much deep state type, but he's improving. So he's on a Stephen Strang podcast. I haven't mentioned him lately. I've been listening to him for the last few years now, since like at least 2020. Stephen Strang, so look him up. Very good, very well done as well. But, kind of getting caught up with things and such, and also something that took place a week ago, and something that's kind of been an ongoing, it's getting really irritating. Just the obsession with Pride Night this, Pride Night that, Pride Night. It's not me necessarily, I don't hate anybody. I have no hatred for anybody that makes these decisions, but I fundamentally disagree. That's all. I fundamentally disagree. And if somebody fundamentally disagrees and, stands in their Christian faith and does not want to wear a pride jersey, like say in the NHL, like Eric Stahl, Mark Stahl and Eric Stahl, in the NHL of the Florida Panthers. I believe it's Mark Stahl, because there's Jordan Stahl, Eric Stahl, Mark Stahl. Eric Stahl used to play for the Minnesota Wild and Carolina Hurricanes and such, and heck of a player. I guess he's back playing again. Wow. He's had a heck of a career, sorry. But yeah, they decided that they stood on their Christian faith and did not want to wear the pride jerseys for, practice and all that, rainbow this, rainbow that. And of course, everybody's dumping on them and all that. And then there's a show that I've been a fan of for years, and I'm not anymore for this reason, called The Soda Pod. Isha Jerome, coming in from Vancouver, British Columbia, eventually ended up moving to Minnesota. They talk about the Minnesota Wild and hockey, and they talk about different breweries and such, if you like that. I don't necessarily like the brewery talk. It's interesting sometimes, like maybe you want to try this, try that. But then also, I don't know, I can't listen to a whole show about that kind of thing at all. So it's better when it's hockey, in my opinion. But then they started talking about the whole, what was the other player? James Reimer of the San Jose Sharks. That's the other one. And of course, I'm going to get to the mailbag as well. This should be a one-segment shot, of course, which most of Freedom of Thought episodes are. They just, they started kind of making fun of him, this and that, Isha Jerome and Hoppy is his name, Scott. Nice guys, especially Scott, Hoppy and all that. But then they started kind of getting to be a little too much. It's one thing to talk about hockey. It's one thing, okay, you have an opinion about something. But occasionally, is it okay to listen to a hockey show and just listen to a hockey conversation instead of getting all ultra political, this and that? Save your political opinions for a show like this. That's why I'm here. I'm not doing Brave the Wild, going to go out and ranting on my political opinions necessarily. Maybe I'll throw a tiny hint and then move on real quick. And that's it. That's about as far as I go on those sports shows, because those shows are meant for sports, and I don't know. They just started going on and on and on and on about how basically it's stupid and they're hypocrites. And, he was wearing them before. Was it Mark Stull? He was wearing it a year ago, so I don't know, or 2 years or whatever. Well, okay, great. You're fact checking, which is a big Democrat liberal thing, a big liberal thing. We got to fact check everything. Fact checked. Just because maybe he, maybe his beliefs got stronger. Maybe he was just kind of afraid to stand out and just kind of decided to go with the flow. That's as far as I'm guessing what the situation was. But they just kept going on and on and on about it and making fun of the guy, and then one of the two hosts said, basically, do you have a right to your opinion? Do I hate you for it? No. Do I think it's stupid? Yes. It's stupid if you disagree with wearing a pride. Do I think it's stupid? Yes. Or are you a terrible person, or do I think it's stupid? You just had to get in that, do I think it's stupid? Yes. So you think it's stupid for somebody that decided they're Christian and don't want to wear a pride jersey? So it's stupid. Okay, thanks for that. I guess I'm stupid then. So thanks for that, for starters. And then they just wouldn't stop. And then they go as far as to say, this is what lost me for good. Like, I was like, I'm unsubscribing and I'm done. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye. Bye-bye now. Was when one of them said, it was the same host that said, do I think it's stupid? Yes. He just kept going. That's the problem. He went as far as to say, there's parts in the Bible that I can interpret that, like being gay is a good thing, or that's what it's encouraging you to be gay. Like he could interpret it that way if he wanted to, that type of thing. And it's like, where do you come up with this kind of conversation? That doesn't make any sense at all. So he was literally just kind of mocking the Bible, like we're idiots basically. And we're just kind of contradicting everything, and that we are just a bunch of fools, basically. We're just idiots, and basically like we should grow up and get with the program. That's kind of the same crap I've been hearing for the last 15, 20 years now. And again, what program is it? And why does it make me more grown up to just kind of like get on board and dance on the whole thing like it's so great? So that kind of attitude sucks, and when I hear that kind of stuff, I'm done. Sorry. I mean, first of all, I'm listening to your show to listen to a little bit of Minnesota Wild, a little bit of NHL hockey conversation. I don't need to hear you going on and on and on about how stupid people are for not agreeing with their opinion, because they think their opinion is so sophisticated and intellectual, and it's just so forward-thinking. Forward-thinking. First of all, when you walk into a store, like a cashier, a restaurant, like a waitress or a host or whatever, hostess. I don't know. Do you think people look sophisticated now compared to like the 1980s, the 1990s, the 1970s? I don't think they do. I really don't. I'm sorry. I think they look less sophisticated. I think we're going backwards. I think we're going way backwards. Like, I mean, like the times of Noah, like it even said that in Revelation, like you won't even know, like people just don't even have an identity anymore. And then of course the whole Nephilim thing, I still got to do a show about that. I'll get off of that for now. But it's, again, it was the attitude behind it. And again, once it got to a point where it was mockery of the Bible and mockery of God's word, I'm sorry, you're done. That is where you cross the line, and I'm done. And good luck to you. Hopefully, just wish the best for them, pray for them, and wish the best. I mean, that's all I can do. At that point, I'm not going to listen to your show anymore. I will not, not with that kind of crappy attitude. So there I go. I'm going and going and going, but this is a political show. They can do a political show. They could do a pride show. Yay, pride, pride, pride. And again, I hate nobody, honest to God. I only hate somebody that might try to kill me, or that thinks I'm trash, basically because I don't look exactly like them, which is everywhere nowadays, especially, it's everywhere now, that's all. But we'll leave that alone. Yeah, and it's everywhere. I'm telling you, it's everywhere. So what else is going on? Again, this whole situation with Trump and being indicted, and they're just, again, coming up with crazy, childish excuses to, again, try to hinder his progress towards becoming president. And it looks like if there was an honest election, Trump would annihilate Biden. And if there was an honest election in 2020, Trump would have annihilated Biden. There's no doubt. Biden wasn't even a candidate. He was just kind of like a placeholder. That's all he was, just kind of like a puppet. That's all he is. And Trump actually has a point. It's just that a certain group of people that consider themselves progressives think they're better than everybody else, and they are much, much louder than, say, a conservative is, like about most of the time, except for some of us that get on podcasts or have like a big radio show that reaches millions of people. And certain podcasts reach millions of people as well. So certain podcasts basically are radio quality, and yeah, they have an audience that's absolutely massive. And podcasts are worldwide, where like a radio show, sometimes like Antenna and all that, are not necessarily worldwide, but they can be if you're huge. But podcasts are automatically worldwide. As long as you can download it, you're good to go. So that's kind of interesting. So let's jump into the mailbag. I think I'm about to cough, so I better hold on here. So I'm back again. I was trying to cough, not to cough to death, so apologize. Thank God for the pause button, so to speak. This post has no text. Yeah, February 18th, I released that show, like the city versus the country and all that. And so this is on the Facebook page. Mark Carlson, there he is, says, great show. Mark out of Iowa. He's got a lot to say, and that's a good thing. Great show. Thank you for making my Monday morning great. Also, the conversation of country versus city is an interesting one, worthy of more discussion. I have an opinion on this, too. Actually, I have a lot to say about this subject, but let me just take one topic for now. That's funny how you worded that. In the New World Order, we must be green. We must have electric vehicles and outlaw gas stoves. Why? Okay, let's get rid of farms and cows. Why? Pollution. The Green World Order, cows pollute. And the Green World Order says cows pollute and farmers fertilize and so on. Well, being a small town boy that has been in nearly every major city in the USA, you name it, I've been there, though I've never been to San Diego, Boston many times, Miami a handful of times, Los Angeles, and many adjoining suburbs, including Long Beach. I lived for some time in between Washington and Baltimore. Ooh, that must have been interesting. I have been to the White House a number of times. Wow. And yes, Mark is a veteran from Iraq 1, so like the early 90s there, like 1991-ish. Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota, yes. Several times a month minimum. Wow. I'm personally from Golden Valley, Minnesota, but anyhow, I spent a lot of time in the suburb of Hopkins. Okay, Hopkins, Minnesota, that's pretty close to here. Yeah, I've door-dashed there a bit. I have spent so much time in New York City, I lost track. Interesting. Chicago, I was mugged once in an airport bathroom, pardon me. Salt Lake, yep. Oh, I'd love to see Salt Lake. Vegas, more than you can think. Houston, New Orleans, Memphis, Kansas City, Detroit, San Antonio. I could go on. And I mentioned all this not to say, wow, I'm so cool. Nope. I mention this because the green politics are coming from the big cities. Yes, they are. All the voters care about is saving the planet. Right, Joey? Right. Yep. So they elect these silly people who think forcing this woke New World Order, green energy, and COVID hysterical politics, and 10 other bad ideas, and everyone will save the planet. Here is the way I see it. It's the small town that is America. I agree. It's the rural people who grow the crops and produce the food that literally feed the world. This is huge. Wow. And it's these people who care more about the land and its well-being than most big city people. I've seen such people litter without care. It's a shame. I've seen New York City change for the better. I believe it's cleaner now than it was in the 1990s. Good. And that's a good thing. Yeah, I don't like littering, no. The real problem is these urban places themselves are polluting. These mega cities have huge needs for sewer and waste of all kind. It's been reported that all the pavement and buildings collect an increased temperature. Wow, is this climate change? It's not the farm or cows, it's the big city. Yeah, hey, tell me if I'm wrong. But if the farmer isn't efficient, he goes out of business. Done. Gone. The end. It's like Joey often refers to Mr. Scrooge McDuck, sorry, lad. I'm afraid it's the other way around. Yep, sorry, lad. I'm afraid it's the other way around. Yep. If woke politics, if woke politics and policies are what the big city people want, let them lead and be the example. Where is the leadership on this, by the way? I am sure the Minnesota governor, Tim Walz, does not ride the light rail or a bus to work. Small towns, and you're right, small towns produce great things, filling all kinds of needs for people around the world. I have no idea what big cities produce other than crime and waste, especially crime, And before anyone goes off and fires up a comment to point out the problems of rural life are real too. I know they are. There is crime out here too. And it can happen, unfortunately. And pollution. There is no utopia. I know there isn't. It sure is not the big city until the big city governments can show us how it's done. Don't bother me. By the way, the wind energy created in my area, most of that is sent to the big city. The food that is produced here goes to the big city. Yes, it does. The biggest of them all, the taxes collected here go to the big city too. What for? More 4-lane highways in the big city. Again, great topic, Joey. Sorry I went long. That was great. It was long, but it was good, though. It was a good kind of long. You know what I mean? That was really, really good. Thank you, Mark, from Iowa. A couple comments on Armed Forces Boutique. Because they're kind of going down. Mark Carlson says the link must be broken. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. So my bad. I'm going to continue. This post has no text. What was the post again? I don't know. Doggone it. Oh, yeah. Voting rights destroyed for more than 55,000 Minnesotans under new felon voting rights law. Isn't that horse crap? So, again, felon vote. Tim Walz and the Minnesota Democrats have been going absolutely nuts. I was going to do a show just on that, and maybe I should still, but I'd probably lose track and get behind, so I might as well just get through this mailbag today. I have an interesting news item from the Tennessee legislature. A bill introduced that will nullify any unconstitutional federal law, agency mandates, or executive order. I hope it passes there and becomes a model for 49 other states. It is clear that the Constitution says the states are to decide on all issues not specifically reserved for the federal government. Awesome. That's awesome. And there's an image there and a couple images. Do check them out. Not sure what to say about that. It's like a 6-sided dice. There is some good to that, but also some not so good. I am not an attorney, but if you serve your time and do not continue criminal life, why can't you regain your rights? I guess there are many. It depends on those type of questions. What do you think, Joey? I kind of agree. That, say, if you serve your time and your behavior has been good and clearly you've changed and improved, sure, maybe you should regain your rights. But if you're like a felon, like right now, that's kind of messed up. Like you're a recently convicted felon and you're just kind of, maybe you're like in prison and stuff. I think that's kind of scary. Okay, what was I writing? It was a meme or whatever. Make no mistake, some people who are demanding you to accept and tolerate their way of life passionately hate you for yours and are relentlessly seeking to destroy it. Very true. Now, Carlson, if a damn thing won't let me. Okay, sorry. He was showing a link. Name changes forward for Fort Bragg. That's crazy. Mark Carlson says, here's a link, and this really burns me up. Woke people changing the names of my military installations, heritage, and tradition are part of our nation's past. 9 Army bases to be renamed, and 1,100 other assets. Jeez. Well, by golly, we have to have nice names for all the work people the woke people. I'm guessing he meant to be happy. Hello, stupid people. When will you stop? We will be allowed to keep our veterans' cemeteries. Pardon me. How about those cemeteries that our Southern brothers lay rest in? Like in the Civil War, from the Civil War. They still deserve respect. Absolutely. Shall we just call in the bulldozer and get rid of our past? Will there be any statues to visit at historic battlefields like Antietam, the most costly battle in all of American history? Oh, by golly, we better tear down the tall white pillar in D.C. called the Washington Monument, and while we are at it, we better rename our capital too. Better yet, rename the whole country. you know that what a communist would, that's what a communist would do, right? Volgograd, formerly Testarian, or should I say Stalingrad. Yep. Whew. At some point, this has to stop. And do an about face. Mark from Iowa. Yep, and he shared the news article and the link and all that. Yep, thank you very much for that. I was saying the morals of this governor never cease to amaze me, and apparently that link is gone. Mark Carlson said heard on the radio today. Yeah, it's disgusting. Yep. Oh, yeah, something about, like something again. Yep, I don't know. We'll leave it alone. More of that transgender conversation that's just never ceasing to amaze me. Okay, yep, Bud Grant had passed away. Yeah, there was something. Yeah, when Bud Grant passed away. Yeah, Bud Grant passed away recently, and I did a show back in December where he basically, or was it early January, where he told everybody, I don't believe in God. And that was like, that was painful. And Mark was saying, with all respect, a master of men, a leader with morals and discipline, how could he not believe? Yeah, I understand. It was extremely painful. Another post about masks stop viruses, and here's a device for carrying sand. Yep, like a a cart. Yep, where like sandwiches fall right through it. Yep, I agree. Yep, it's hilarious. Mark Collins says, I guess these same people likely also believe that we can put a battery in every car, truck, and other devices without any consequences. Yeah, so true. And it amuses me that politicians that are arm in arm peddling these globalist ideas to save the world all travel by private jet. Yep, exactly. Live in large, lavish homes, actually have more than one large, lavish home, yet demand you to ride the bus and give up your private car, move into public housing, and 10 other things. And there are people who want to return to all the lockdowns and mandates. Yep, it's freaking crazy. They're delusional idiots. Yep, so true. What was this about? Something about the, looks like there's no comments. It says a comment, but then it says no comments. Oh my God, it's going to go on for, well, it's not too much longer. Yeah, because it's getting late, so I got to keep moving here. What the heck? It says there are comments, but it's not letting me see them, so that's interesting. I don't know, it's because the link got broken. Yep, they're talking about James Reimer, and Mark Carlson says, someone will have to explain to me why we mix politics with sports now, because I sure don't see the need. If a political group wants to have a rainbow jersey, it's okay with me, but they will have to buy a whole team. Otherwise, let's just get back to the game. Yeah, exactly. Lee Hepner jumps in and says, it's not really politics, it's ideologies. It's just so prevalent in politics now as well. Yeah, yep. Yeah, yep, and there's another one, no text, and I think a couple more. What was I talking about here? Just can't see nothing. What the heck? I hate that. Yep, I was talking about the debt and all that. Yep, absolutely crazy. That we're now almost 24 trillion in debt. And Mark Olsen says, drum roll, please. Thank you, weak Congress, people, and horrible federal government leaders. Sorry, I hope the audio didn't just get bad for a second there. U.S. debt in March of 23, 31 trillion. Oh, so let me mention also, according to U.S. Treasury Development, the net federal cronies received, VS net federal monies spent is minus $603 billion. That is awful. My checkbook can't run $6. What the hell's going on? By the way, the value of gold in the U.S. Treasury is estimated at only $11 billion. That's really weird. It's freaking scary. I don't know why this thing is acting so funny, but I apologize. That's another weird one where it says no comments. Looks like there was a lot of back and forth, and the comments are gone. So that's okay. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I apologize. I should have done the show sooner. They probably didn't want me to post, like Facebook probably did that. And that should do it. So that was a little long, but it was good, though. I enjoyed that, and incredible conversation. Actually, the show's not even that long. It's only 23 and a half minutes, so at this stage. But thank you so much, or 24 or whatever. But thank you so much for commenting, Mark and Lee Hepner. I really appreciate you guys for joining the show and having the conversation with me, and a lot of good commentary. And it's a weird world we live in. That's all I got to say. And I'll probably try to do one as soon as possible. That way I don't get so dang behind in the mailbag. I apologize for that. So that's my bad. I got to do these shows. If I can get them once a week, once every 2 weeks, 2 times a week, whatever it takes. Mobile, that's where the mobile stuff comes in, and it really helps. Otherwise, again, thank you guys so much for your back and forth conversations. And yeah, mobile's really back and forth. We had just great commentary and a lot of good things to say. And I don't know, again, it's a weird world we live in. Just like the weather's weird this time of year in Minnesota and probably Iowa as well. So thanks for listening, and God bless the United States of America.